So Marvel Rising Secret Warriors is surprisingly really good. I mean, it's not perfect, but it is watchable and it's really cool that, you know, Marvel were going all out with the Marvel Rising sub-brand a couple of years ago. It is strange that they've kind of suddenly dropped it completely, maybe because they wanted all of their focus to be on Marvel Studios related projects, and I guess X-Men 97 and Spider-Man Freshman Year probably took up all of the creative animation resource. But anyway, like I said, you know, this sub-brand was really cool, and they were starting something really brilliant. I mean, it's definitely centered and focusing on the kids' younger market, and I do think it would have benefited if they had a focus on a slightly older audience, but you know, I guess Marvel Rising, and it is a little bit of a spin-off from the Young Avengers team, but this time it is focusing fully on Ms. Marvel, as she is really front and center in this film. And it's just really interesting, isn't it, as Marvel are trying so hard to make Ms. Marvel just really be a big player within the mainstream media. And I guess, you know, with all of this effort, especially recently in the comics in terms of changing her from an Inhuman to an X-Men mutant type character, they really probably are going to be successful eventually. But speaking of Inhumans, I absolutely love the Inhumans, and it was just so brilliant having them front and center here. And speaking of the X-Men, it's a real mutant-inspired storyline over here too, into the human race are being really judgmental and somewhat racist towards the Inhuman characters in this little world. And so you can understand some of the Inhumans' responses to this, as you know, when you do push people so hard, then you can understandably see that, you know, if you do push them past their limit, then they are going to respond against this. And it is a bit of a coming of age storyline for a number of different characters, but it also does give a lot of important messages. The main one being, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. And this is demonstrated with a number of different characters in this special, and I just love that the Kree are involved here as well, as of course they are massive players within the Avengers comic book series, as well as of course being a massive part of the Inhuman storyline too. So it's just so good, and I'm just really hopeful that one day within the MCU we are going to properly investigate the Inhumans, as like I said, they are just so underrated as characters, and they've just been criminally underused within the Marvel Studios space. Speaking of Ms. Marvel, like I said, she is definitely front and center in this movie. You really can get behind her as a character. You can definitely see where she is coming from a number of different characters' points of view, and she has always got a really good head on her shoulders and is trying to be the hero that she knows that she can be, as she is really inspired by Captain Marvel, which definitely is a continued thread across all of the iterations of this character. And I think she is actually a really good leader in the making, especially in the final act where she is trying to save a number of different Inhuman characters. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about Squirrel Girl. If anything, she was just so irritating. And like I said, she just made Ms. Marvel just look so much better because she was just such an annoying character. And unfortunately, she didn't really bring anything to the table. If anything, she just detracted from the storyline. And I feel like she could have just been replaced by any other character and you wouldn't have really noticed, as her purpose within the storyline wasn't really that great. As like I said, this character could have just been played by anyone. Inferno and Exile were absolutely brilliant. Like I said, I just love the Inhumans. And Exile, as a character, was just so good. His power set was so brilliantly utilized in this special. And if there's a character that can get a big fandom around him, I feel like Exile is one of them, as he was just such a cool, classy guy in this series, and I just hope we get to see a lot more of him. I know we do in future Marvel Rising productions, but like I said, I just hope that he is able to get transferred into the mainstream media, as he is just such a cool character. I mean, the misdirection that they gave at the start of this special was a little bit obvious, and you could definitely see where it was going to go. But that being said, these two powerhouse characters were just so brilliantly realized. America Chavez was just so unnecessarily annoying and irritating in this special. I mean, her moveset and when she is in battle, those sequences did look really cool. But like I said, she was just being difficult for the sake of being difficult. And I feel like, you know, certain characters, if they are going to be difficult, then that's fair enough if you can just justify why they are doing this. And they did try to do it, but the justification that they gave just wasn't credible enough for you to understand why she is just being so difficult against all of these other characters. But after you move past that, then, you know, she is a great team player and she is able to work with all of the other characters. And like I said, in battle, she is a formidable character, and she is working on the same level as Captain Marvel towards the end of the special. So, you know, America Chavez has the potential to be an even bigger player within the wider space, and I feel like Multiverse of Madness really did show how you do this character properly. Patriot was the true goody-goody type character, and I guess every single team needs this type of character, and he did show that, you know, all of his powers are really, really brilliant from a technological perspective, and I just love what they did with Quake. I mean, she is a true fan favorite, especially after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it was really, really cool that the same person who played her in that live action space is voicing her in this special, which I think is really, really cool. And as we all know, Quake's powers are really, really brilliant, and I just hope that this character is also going to move over into the Marvel Studios space. Hela the Accuser was such a formidable villain, truly barbaric, and gets a lot of characters to pretty much fight to the death. And I just feel like, you know, as far as awful characters are concerned, she definitely is up there and is really showing how evil and twisted the Kree really can be. Lockjaw was absolutely adorable in this special. I think he was really, really brilliantly realized in the Inhumans short-lived one-season live-action special. So it was really, really cool to kind of see him here, as he is just such a staple Inhumans character. And like I mentioned before, we do get to see Captain Marvel and maybe Captain America too. And just like we do see in the MCU, you know, it does benefit from just having special characters just popping up here and there. So it was really, really cool to kind of see the wider characters in here too. But it definitely does focus on the Secret Warriors group. So overall, I did enjoy Marvel Rising Secret Warriors a lot more than I was thinking I would do. I mean, it does kick off a brand new franchise really, really well. And I'm just wondering if we are going to ever revisit it, as it did kind of disappear after 2019. But maybe they're going to revisit it in the Secret Wars Special Avengers event. But in the meantime, I think it was a really decent special, and so for all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. Now I'd love to hear what you thought of this movie special, so please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.